Bisexual Awareness Week. So I am coming at you with a whole host of videos and definitely taking on too much while I'm at it. Is that a bisexuality joke? Probably. Anyway, today I'm going to talk a little bit about what bisexuality actually is and how it differs from similar identities like pansexuality, polysexuality, and so on. I'm sorry that I don't know a lot of words, but words are hard. I am dyslexic. Moving on. Bisexuality is a term for people who are attracted to multiple genders. It has a few other definitions, but that's kind of the base overarching one. Some people argue about whether it's trans or non-binary phobic or inclusive because of the implication of bi meaning two, like bicycle, which is a two-wheeled cycle. But typically it doesn't actually mean two anymore. Some people prefer to define their own bisexuality as attraction to two groups of people. For example, genders that are both alike and different to their own, or specific sets of people like women and non-binary people, or men and women, or whatever. All of these are kind of perfectly acceptable and correct definitions, but they're not the only definition, nor are they the base definition, which again is that a bisexual person is attracted to multiple genders. The word bisexual has been around since the 19th century, but there are plentiful examples of historical people who were attracted to multiple genders and would potentially now term themselves as bisexual if the word had existed in their knowledge. Alexander of Macedon, also known as Alexander the Great, is a prime example of a historical, probably bisexual figure. Now, I'm not saying for certain whether he was or wasn't bisexual, but the reason I think that bisexual is a good term to describe him is that he happily married a woman, he fathered a child with her, he is stated to at several points have said that he loves his wife, that he wouldn't choose another over her, but he also had a boyfriend, a male lover, who upon said lover's death, Alexander elevated him to god status. It's a whole thing. History is interesting. Bisexual is also an umbrella term for most of the non-monosexual identities, so for a lot of different people who are attracted to multiple genders. I don't think this is a fair thing, but if you see things like bi plus or bisexual umbrella, it usually also is trying to include pansexual and polysexual and so on and so forth people. And the reason that people tend to use bi is because it is the one that is most publicly known. It's not some kind of snub at any of the other words, it's just the one that the vast majority of people actually know in general conversation. Similar identities to bisexuality include pansexuality, polysexuality, queer as an identifier of sexuality, and flexible identities, which can also include people on the ace or aromantic spectrum, asexual or aromantic. So why are there all these labels and how are they different? Pansexuality is typically defined as attraction to people regardless of gender. Polysexuality is typically defined as attraction to multiple but not all genders. And bisexuality, again, is attraction to multiple genders to different degrees, in different ways, and at different times. Queer is a broadly encompassing identity, and a big part of its purpose is to be undefined, so I will not try and define it here. Flexible identities lean heavily on attraction to one gender, but don't rule out the prospect of being attracted to another. Often people don't add the flexible part to the end of their identity for ease of use. Note that an identity label is very much, as I said in my umbrellas video, a tool that you use to communicate with other people, not a box that you have to fit in. If somebody said that they're gay and they're now dating someone of a different gender, that doesn't change who they are. It just means that the identity label of gay is a tool that they have used that means that they are typically or almost exclusively attracted to people of the same gender. But this person is different for whatever reason, and it's not really any of your business why that reason is. All of these definitions that I've turned up are results of a fair squadge of research. Squadge? That's a new one. Fair squadge of research. Lots of people just use the one that they like the sound of, or the one that's got the best pride flag for their liking, the one that they like the colours of the best. And a lot of the time they are used interchangeably despite being several different and distinct identity labels, because there is a lot of crossover. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Think about subscribing to my channel. I will be posting quite a lot of videos this week. I haven't quite decided how many as yet, and I will see you next time. No, I haven't said follow me on social media. Follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook as No Poodles. If you would like to read my short stories, I have plenty of bis, pan, polysexual protagonists. You can find them all over on nopoodles.wordpress.com, and if you'd like to support me and what I do, there's a link to my Ko-fi account in the description below. It's extra busy right now because we are planning a big thing that I can't talk about, but it's a big thing.